Hello again, everyone. Zack Attack is here. My WWE Raw review for tonight, Monday, August 22nd, 2016. The aftermath of SummerSlam taking place from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Third night in a row that WWE's been there. Better crowd a little bit than SummerSlam because it wasn't a 6-hour show. Counter pre-show and all that. But coming off of SummerSlam, okay SummerSlam, with some ups and downs. And the downs were hard. Especially it was the main event, probably one of the worst main events of all time. Probably the worst main event in SummerSlam history. With that in mind, WWE needed to have a good Raw tonight to combat it. Some things needed to happen. And for the most part, tonight's Raw was okay. Before the Raw started, a dark cloud hung over the show with the news coming out about Finn Balor getting injured at SummerSlam. But with that dark cloud, we did get a final mother effingly. The inevitable finally happened with a full-time debut, as you see from my subtitle. Not only addressing Finn, but also addressing a big debut we were hoping to see tonight. Finally, it happened, people. The full-time debut of one of the most beloved icons in NXT. And for the rest of the night, with that dark cloud hung over Raw as it began, Raw never really recovered from it. Besides that one little bright spot, the rest of the Raw was just okay. You had a retirement party crash that could reestablish seriousness in a team that needed after a bad build for the tag team title shot. A couple of things happened. Get to that also. There you go. We would begin Raw with the dark cloud. Finn Balor getting injured last night during his match against Seth Rollins, forcing to relinquish the WWE Universal Championship after only one day of a champion. People already calling the Universal Championship cursed. The World Championship, the secondary title, was also kind of cursed because people got injured when having it. Happened to Edge, happened to Anchor, happened to a lot of people. Hopefully this ain't the beginning of that happening again with this title. But I never really addressed this. I never really thought about it. That Rollins, intentionally or not, I'm a big Rollins guy, but it's hard to love Rollins now because of realizing he's injured so many people. He injured Sting last year, Night of Champions. He injured Cena, broke his nose, and now, intentionally or not, he injured Finn Balor. So it's like Balor injured himself because of the impact he had, but Rollins delivered a turnbuckle, the barricade powerbomb. So Rollins is kind of at fault here. You know, like I said, I've always been a Rollins mark, but after seeing what Rollins did last night, really thinking about it, and thinking I've been talking about Lesnar being dangerous, about Lesnar hurting people. Lesnar hurts people intentionally. Rollins does it inadvertently, but guess what? He's as dangerous as Lesnar because he's injured more people than Lesnar has. Most of the injuries Lesnar's given was mostly storyline. But this was not storyline with Rollins. Injuring Sting, Cena, although that was cool. But still injured Balor, especially, Balor just debuted. He just debuted the company, main roster, big push, everything. And he got injured at his first major pay-per-view. And he is out for at least 6 months. So maybe require surgery for a shoulder injury. Let's hope to God WWE doesn't lose faith in Finn. The only positive is that the fans won't hate him now because a lot of people are fearing that Finn was going to be shoved down our throats and fans will get picky and fickle like they have done with everyone they want to see get it big, finally get it big, but then they shove down our throats, they turn. Ambrose is getting the same treatment right now. We all wanted Ambrose to be champion. And after especially his okay match against Ziggler last night, people may lose faith in Ambrose as champion on the SmackDown side. I think AJ is going to be the guy. Then people turn on him. That's how fickle the WWE fans are. So with the fans chanting, no, 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 and not booing the title, yeah, like they did last night, troll the match between Bayley and Rollins. I got nasty responses from both Foley and Rollins to the fans on social media. Finn was supposed to relinquish the title. But then Seth Rollins came out thinking he was going to be handed the title. Because he was the one that lost. He should have been the guy that gets the title by forfeit. He was handed the opportunity. He didn't have to fight to get a title opportunity. So he should be handed the title. But then a lot of guys came out. Sammy was the first to come out. Then you had Jericho and Owens. And then Enzo and Cass. And then the Thunderous Boost, Roman Reigns. So they announced they would have a series of matches tonight. They would determine who would fight for the vacated championship, which that match would take place next week on Raw, which got boos from everybody. Then we won't determine the new championship next week. That is kind of a shitty move. But hey, maybe they redesign a championship. Because it's kind of ugly and red. And women's champion red. There was all these memes on it. I even said if I saw some of you, the internet was going to have a field day. Which it did. Memes galore. Say that every championship is going to be the same design but a different color. Especially the tag. I even said in my review, but the tag team titles of SmackDown and the women's title of SmackDown is going to be blue. Not the only one making fun of it. For the love of that. So we would have 4 matches tonight. And the winners of those 4 would be in a fatal 4-way next week to determine the new champion. First match, Sami Zayn against Seth Rollins, a rematch of last week. At least we didn't have too many SummerSlam rematches. Not a lot of them. So we have the same match against Rollins first. And it was a fun match. Sami looked good until... Is this real or not? And another match involving Rollins. Not only did Rollins tease the turnbuckle, the barricade bomb again, which thankfully was counted, but there was an injury still. Real or not? Sami was going for a springboard jump off the top, and he landed gingerly on his ankle. Whether it was a real injury, another injury during the Rollins match, or a fake injury, it's tough to say. Some people on social media did say it was a work, but it looked real. And if it was real, Rollins, I love you, man, but damn, another guy injured because of you. Especially an awesome guy like Sami Zayn. But if it was a work, if it was a fake injury, okay. But it looked real. And if it was a fake injury, Sami should deserve an Emmy for his acting job of selling it. At least he can sell a knee injury better than Nakamura. Love you, Nakamura, but you can't sell knee injury if you like the pain on it. Anyway, despite the ankle injury, if Rollins tried to capitalize on it, Sami kept fighting back. Trying to deliver a blues on the bomb, but I think it was like a cool powerbomb sequence. Or cool sequence involving Zayn and Rollins. Of course, going for the Luva kick, but his knee gave out. And then Rollins kicks him in the head. It puts him in the hook. And as Zayn tried to go for, I think it was a suplex transition spot. But as Zayn was trying to fight off the pain again and go for a big suplex, Rollins would counter it. As his leg would give out, Zayn's leg would give out. Came up with the pedigree and the 1-2-3 victory for Rollins. Coming in as the first man to qualify for the Fatal 4-Way Championship match next week. Love him or hate him, especially if they're injuring Finn and another guy injured in his match. Because of intentional or not, blame or not, someone got injured during the Rollins match again. That was Finn and almost Zayn again. If it was fake, fine. Real, Rollins should be hauled up on his dangerous spots because he hurts people. Intentionally or not, he hurts people. fun opener to open up the show. Trying to give it his duck clown. So there you go. First man qualified, Rollins. Who would qualify next? Next qualifier, Kevin Owens taking on Neville, Sami Zayn's tag team partner from last night's pre-show match against the Dudley Boys. I'll get to those guys in a little bit about their retirement. Imagine a little about the retirement party being crashed by not one but two teams. It would never look good early with big flying moves. Big fly off the top rope. He came out early until he got distracted by the rival of the partner of Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho. God, they have a good chemistry. Neville tried to fight off this distraction, doing a springboard move that was awesome. Off the top with like a corkscrew. But he was going for the red arrow at one point after that corkscrew. After Owens came in, it was a big moves. Trying to go for the cannonball. But as Neville did have Owens in a compromising position again, this time, like I said, for the red arrow, Jericho would distract Neville in order to capitalize. After Neville kicked Jericho out of the match with the face, and Owens would distract him with the knocking him off the top rope and taking him in a big move. He didn't do the Papa, but he did like some neck breaker. Reverse neck breaker is a cool little spot move, and it went to the victory for Kevin Owens going in. I thought Owens would win. I love Neville, but at least today, Neville was not in a meaningless match. Yeah! He wasn't a stupid match with the Dudleys or like the last 2 weeks. Meaningless matches against Bo Dallas and Chris Axel, and also last week against Jinder Mahal. Speaking of Jinder Mahal, his partner Slater got some attention. I didn't mention about the chant about "We want Slater" last night and tonight too. So this free agent thing is cool, but I think he is signed on to SmackDown now. Unless he didn't sign the contract that Shane and Daniel offered him last week after being owned by disqualification. Technically, he won. So there you go. Now we're going to take a break from qualifying for the Fatal 4-Way for a minute, as we got the WWE World Tag Team Champions of the world. As the New Day came out, Big E returned, cheap return last night, in the match against New Day in the Club. And the dick jokes continued. I love the Club, but fuck you, WWE Creative. Who thought corny dick jokes would get over? As I said in my review last night, they did a corny dick jokes with Roman Reigns and Sheamus, and that went nowhere. But once again, Club is now being reduced to fucking dick jokes. Way to go, Creative. Way to go. But they did something good with the Club later on that could redeem it from stupid-ass booking with their feud against New Day. So as New Day was celebrating we and the championships on a technicality because the Club did win by DQ, because Big E did come back and interfere after John Studd almost got him DQ'd because of his involvement. Then a pinata full of booty holes. Before we get an opportunity to knock it down, here comes the Club interrupting. It's saying that tonight we're going to prove that we deserve another shot at the titles. So Big E would take on Carl Anderson. It was an okay matchup with shenanigans involved, with the outside distractions being a big factor. With Gallows getting involved at one point, super kicking Big E, and also super kicking Xavier, knocking out Kofi at one point, helping Anderson get the advantage over Big E for a bit in an okay little matchup. But then Kofi and Xavier would get back up. Kofi would deliver the Drum in Paradise to Gallows to help Big E capitalize on that distraction, putting Anderson up for the big ending and a 1-2-3 victory for Big E. Even if Big E pinned one of the members of the Club may still get a rematch, especially after the statement they did made later on to redeem their bad booking. Now on to Titus O'Neil, Darren Young are feuding again. I like it better as a team. Last year they broke up and their feud did not work. And they're feuding again. And it's not working again. You know why it doesn't work? Titus O'Neil fumbled the beginning of his promo. And never recovered. Man. Like, Titus is a tough guy. A tough athletic guy, but God, his mic skills are almost as bad as Roman Reigns. Like, Roman fumbles. Like, he didn't fumble as bad as fucking Titus did. Seriously. Anywho, he was talking about Darren Young. To make Darren Young great again. How can they make this feud great again? Ending it! He called out Darren, and then they did chant, "We want Slater." They chant that many times, especially during this segment. He tells him, "I don't know what you want. I want Darren," but he got Bob Backlund instead. He beat up on Backlund a little bit till Backlund did get some offense and putting Titus in the crossface chicken wing. But then Titus knocked him down, slammed him, thus prompting Darren Young to come out. He got nailed in the class of the Titus. So there you go. Feuding for no apparent reason. Meaningless feud. Let's move on to our next matchup. The two matches that were named. Those two matches left in the qualifying for the Fatal 4-Way. When I saw these matches, I was like, oh, I think we know who's going to win these two matches. One of them was predictable. This one, I thought was predictable. But we had an unpredictable ending involving Big Cass taking on the United States Champion Rusev. On paper, Rusev would have won, especially seeing that the next qualifying match would feature Roman Reigns taking on Chris Jericho. So I was like, okay, Rusev will win and Roman will win because they had a little feud going on because the U.S. Championship match never happened. But Rusev was selling the injuries he had from that pre-match beatdown that made the real match never happen. When Roman hit him with a chair, so Rusev was wearing a little wrapping tape around his chest, selling the rib injury against Big Cass. And Cass gave him an offensive fury. Big kicks early. But then Rusev came back with some big nasty moves of his own. With some big elbow drops and nasty enziguris. Even at one point, knocking out Enzo one point with a nasty enziguri. But that woke up Cass. Because of big moves, big boots exchange. Rusev kicked Cass, and Cass had a boot of his own. Then tried to set up the Empire Elbow. Then Rusev knocked out of the ring, still selling his injuries. Walked out. So, Big Cass won by countout. Which I think they did it for two reasons. One, to protect Rusev from getting pinned. And two, they didn't want Big Cass and or Enzo to lose 2 nights in a row. Because they lost against Jericho and KL, surprisingly. So they wanted them to at least some good faith. And have some momentum. So Big Cass is in the Fatal 4-Way. I thought Rusev would be. Nice surprise. When WWE doesn't want to be predictable for once. Yay! So there you go. At least it's an opportunity for Cass. I don't know if he'll win the tournament. I don't think he'll win the match. But it'd be great to see him in a singles match of a big caliber for him. His biggest caliber match, singles match, or at least a Fatal 4-Way match on main roster. So now on to our next segment. Charlotte coming out with her newly regained WWE Women's Championship, with Dana Brooke applauding Charlotte by doing it on her own in a great match against Sasha Banks. It wasn't the epic match I was hoping they were going to have to steal the show, but they did steal the show in some way. Nasty spots. Maybe, I love them taking risks, but maybe they took too much risk. There were some nasty spots in there. Some bumps, nasty bumps that Sasha took. It was probably done to storyline her injury, because she is out for a little bit. The reason why she lost the championship was she's going to take some time off to rest after some nagging injuries. So that's what she lost. shockingly to Charlotte, and I love Charlotte as a heel. You know, people turn on her quickly. But I still like Charlotte's work ethic. In the ring, I've always applauded her. Sasha's ability to have great matches together, and they'll still have good matches. But right now they're on hiatus because of Sasha's injuries. So Charlotte's like, I beat Sasha, and she had a great heel promo. And she's like, who's left? We had a little suspicion of who it would be. They were chanting her name. But then, into adding more drama to this impossible debut, Mick Foley came out. It's like, one music. But he's like, Charlotte, you said nobody's left. Sasha's gone for a little bit, but she'll be back. But till then, we got ourselves the hottest free agent in women's wrestling today. Finally, they've been delaying the inevitable for too long. Too damn long, finally making a full-time main roster debut after the one-off appearance at Battleground last month. It's Bayley! Yes! Bayley made a full-time debut. I know a lot of people would argue saying that she belongs on SmackDown because it's more of her brand, a fun, colorful brand, the mid-card brand. But we do need some face divas, face women on Raw now that Sasha's gone for a bit. Because who would challenge Charlotte if Sasha's not around? Nia Jax, heel. Summer Rae, who cares? Alicia Fox, who cares? They needed someone like Bayley to come in. They delayed the inevitable for too long. She lost to Asuka in a final match in Brooklyn. We had suspicion she would debut tonight. Especially needed something big to happen to combat SummerSlam. This is the only big thing they did. Was the debut, full-time finally, of Bayley. She hugged Mick Foley. She's like, I've been ready for this moment. The whole world's been ready for this moment to see me full-time on the main roster. And I'm on Raw. And she's like, Charlotte, I want a shot at your belt. But Charlotte's like, no. We're not going to give you that on free TV. I'm thinking Clash of Champions for these two. But tonight you get in a book. The punching bag! I wonder what would have happened if Emma didn't get injured. Anyway! Like, if Emma didn't get injured, Dana and Emma would have been a great heel team. But now, with Emma gone for a while, Dana's just a punching bag. Charlotte's sidekick. I don't think she'll ever recover. Even when Emma comes back, to try to regain momentum they lost with Emma's injury, it could be tough for Dana to recover from this. From being Charlotte's punching bag. Anywho, we had Bayley's in-ring debut. She looked awesome in the ring, doing her signature moves in the corner. But got distracted for a little bit against Charlotte, distracting her at ringside. Dana capitalized it a little bit. But then she got fed to the Bayley monster. You got Bayley to belly! 1-2-3 victory for Bayley! I got shot against Charlotte. Now, Bayley and Charlotte, of course, faced off for the NXT Women's Championship, with Bayley losing every time. But Bayley did beat Charlotte last summer on the hunt for a shot against Sasha Banks for that championship in NXT Brooklyn. What a year it's been for Bayley. Last year in Brooklyn, she became the NXT Women's Champion in an awesome match against Sasha Banks. 1 year later, not only did she appear at NXT TakeOver again, this time in a losing effort against Asuka, but then 2 days later, she would make her finally full-time roster debut at that building, Barclays, on Raw. Which, by the way, if you haven't noticed, Raw actually used the SummerSlam set tonight. Now, I like the SummerSlam set. But now we have another match, another squash it. What do we have here? Another squash it? Another squash it? Oh, God, this theme's weird. Braun Strowman against Johnny Knockout. As in, Johnny's gonna get the knock the fuck out. That's it. Johnny's gonna get knocked the fuck out. That's what that stands for. But Johnny Knockout not only got knocked the hell out, to quote the great Taz, Johnny Knockout was just another victim of the destruction of Braun Strowman. Is he going to get real competition? Getting sick of these squash matches. Anyway, he just destroyed this guy. Moving on, bathroom break. On to the retirement of the Dudley Boys. One of three things I thought would happen. They would retire into the sunset, no strings attached. B, they would troll the fans and stay unretired. Or C, Bully would return heel. Because there was some miscommunication. But they did kind of retire on their own terms. Because usually when you have your last thing, you don't go out on top. You go out with, Jericho got out one time being dragged out. So you think they'll have the Dudleys? Almost kind of did. It was a happy moment. 1 year ago, they returned to the company. The night of the SummerSlam, a huge pop. And even they admit that it didn't go perfectly, their return in a year. They had some ups and downs from a great start with the feud with New Day, then having a feud with the Wyatts and becoming glorified jobbers, to Usos and all these great teams. But that's what they meant to do. They meant to come in, make the young talent look good and leave. Kind of like whatever Rob Van Dam. Jericho does that sometimes. Well, all the time now. Comes in and out, So, thank you, fans, and all this great stuff. And then they were interrupted by the Shining Stars. Pre-Roll and Epico. God, their gimmick died on arrival. It was dead on arrival. And I don't know how they could salvage their gimmick. They even offered Dudley's economy tickets to the Caribbean. The crowd booed them the hell. They got attacked for the Dudleys. Got 3D'd. The way that. And setting up a table. But just moments before putting one of the Shining Stars through the table, the statement I mentioned that the club made the statement as they crashed the retirement party of the Dudley Boys and attacked them. And it put Diva through a table with the Magic Killer after laying out Bubba Ray with the Magic Killer on the outside. So they got club after a bad build against the New Day. The only build was only basically dumbing down the club to dick jokes. They laid on the Dudleys, made them look dominant again. And hopefully they keep this up. And no more dick jokes, no more repost-itis. Make the club serious again. Make the club great again. Too sweet. Adam Cole's Ring of Honor champion. Finn was Universal champion. Kenny Omega the Cleaner won the Climax. G1 Climax. The first non-Japan wrestler to win the G1 Climax in New Japan. Awesome. So Bullet Club's taking over the world, baby. Too sweet. And AJ beat up John Cena at SummerSlam last night. So, too sweet! Got some great heel heat, though. And I hope this picks up. And the club does beat New Day. And I love New Day, but the club needs to be champion. But they need to be treated serious first before they won. So they're kind of glad they lost. Because if they want to win a tag team titles, they don't need to win the tag team titles because of some goddamn dick jokes. They need to be treated more seriously and look like a dominant heel team like they should be. Starting tonight, taking on the Dudleys. Now on with the main event. The final spot to be determined in the Fatal 4-Way next week for the championship. The Universal Championship. By the way, also next week, we got the second match in the Best of 7 series between Sheamus and Cesaro, with Sheamus taking the first match. And before we get to our main event as well, I'd like to say they announced the debuting of the Cruiserweight division. Cruiserweight division will start on September 19th. They aired some promos of some of the guys. You have Rich Swann, Noam Dar, Brian Kendrick. Hoping to get Ibushi in there, Cedric Alexander. So I can't wait to see the Cruiserweight guys because I'm loving to see WC. I think Cruiserweight should have gone home to SmackDown, but it's kind of cool. Wall's getting the Cruiserweight division. So now on to the main event. The final spot in the Fatal 4-Way to be filled as Chris Jericho will take on Roman Reigns. interviews. You know, either John Cena. John Cena sucks with his horns. John Cena sucks. Roman Reigns has that song that goes, dirty, 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 dirty. They should do, Roman Reigns sucks. Roman Reigns sucks. Roman Reigns sucks. Roman Reigns sucks. They should do that to his theme song. They do it to Cena song. They should sing Roman Reigns sucks to his theme song. And that's how you should do it. Roman Reigns sucks. Roman Reigns sucks. They should start doing that. So over the match itself, Jericho carried the match. Roman made fun of him all he wanted. He did try his best to hold his own against a veteran that is Chris Jericho, the greatness. He got a gift tonight, Roman. You got the gift of Jericho. Drink it in, drink it in. And the gift of Owens too, because Kevin Owens came out to kind of help Jericho, like Jericho helped him advance to the Fatal 4-Way earlier when he won against Neville. But despite the presence of Kevin Owens, the gift of Owens, yeah, I said it, the gift of Owens, and he's awesome. I've always been a fan of Owens. Jericho would capitalize on that presence a couple times, trying to nail a cold. He did nail a cold break at one point and had Roman in the walls of Jericho. But then Roman was coming to the big move, the drive-by earlier on. Numerous attempts at the spear and Superman punch. He did get 2 Superman punches in. But it was taken out. But after Jericho could capitalize on the distractions of Owens, Owens would come alive with a Superman punch, not just to Jericho, but also knocking out Owens. And that was the setup for the spear to Jericho in the 1-2-3 victory. Sadly, the predictable match happened the way we all thought it was going to be. Roman Reigns winning. And I said, if Roman Reigns won, they need something to make up for it. And have someone attack Reigns, to have Raw and not have another WWE event and an anticlimactic fashion for the second night in a row. Where it did. SmackDown, you better deliver. I hope SmackDown's awesome tomorrow night. You got AJ addressing his win against Cena, and Nikki Bella makes her SmackDown debut. You know, this is her return on. I heard that before Eva Marie got taken out, it was supposed to be in a pre-show match. But then they made it to the main card because Nikki Bella returned. But having that match over Sasha and Charlotte, having that match higher on the card, I had a word to describe it, and I spelled it out on my review. Bullshit. So there you go. Reigns wins with a fatal 4-way. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Big Cass. Now, look at these opponents. Big Cass, I don't think he'll win, but I think Big Cass will look really good in this match. It's a big opportunity for him to shine in the singles atmosphere instead of being a tag team guy. Predictably, Rollins or Reigns. They're the top guys. You know, it's going to be one of those guys. Like, I don't want it to be Reigns. We don't want it to be the man that's faster than Rey Mysterio, more powerful than a Big Show, able to bury careers in a single bound. Super Reigns. Or do you want it to be the man that's also faster than Rey Mysterio, more powerful than a Big Show, able to injure people in a single bound? Seth Rollins. It's tough to love Rollins after seeing him injure another person and almost injure Sammy. So, the predictable route, Rollins or Reigns. Unpredictable route, Kevin freaking Owens. Big opportunity for Owens. Even if he lose, he'll look good doing it. But he's been awesome. I love him as a heel. I think we don't need a heel champion on Raw, but guess what? We want Owens. We want Owens to be champion. If it ain't Rollins or Reigns, Owens should be champion. Anybody but Reigns, basically. I'll take the other three. I'll take Rollins or Owens. Like Rollins or Reigns, a predictable route, but unpredictable route. If WWE wants to do something shocking, they have an opportunity to do something shocking and have Kevin Owens win. But they'll probably go predictable. But at least, if it is predictable, good predictable. Rollins. Bad predictable woman. And if woman's champion again, especially if they're getting suspended, bad move. Be a bad move. And then Walls will suck again. They had a hot streak, and the hot streak is over. So, there you go. They had an okay Wall to come back into SummerSlam, but they should have done a little bit more. But at least we did have a Bayley debut, so that was good. So with that in mind, you've all been attacked by the review from Zach. See you all later. Bid you farewell with a 2. Bye.